Okay, so we hear that the BVAS machines were reportedly that were used for the Edo global elections of September 21 were brought into the Edo State Election or Gubernatorial Election Petition Tribunal today sitting in Abuja. And of course, you know that I've registered and I continue to say it. I don't believe in the judiciary, but I think I'm looking very deeply and closely at this because whether or not we are still going to have an election, we are still going to believe in the process, we are still going to trust our judicial process. All of them rest on the orders of whatever the tribunal comes out with. I'm not saying they must give judgment in a look in consonance or in agreement with my thoughts and emotions. We are looking out for every single evidence brought forward, every single witness report, every single petition's interest, every single prayer. We're looking at the judgment. We are considering all of the certified true copies. So it's a process, right? The end point may not be the big thing. See, let me tell you, the PDP candidate, Asweleme Godalo, may even go ahead to win this case, for example, in tribunal. I still want to check if the process is not suited for me, I'll still come and report it. I'll say it, right? So I'm considering a lot of this process. So BVAS, the BVAS machines were assembled, as you can see today in court, and good news anyway. It doesn't mean that there's anything. I saw several reports, and trust town criers, right? No mind the go we shout from the APC as when it's coming from PDP. But the truth of the matter is that it is good step in the right direction. It shows that the court is ready to check. And let me tell you, for the sake of balance, the BVAS machines only strength is to help to confirm the petitioner's prayers or interest that there were a few overvoting in some polling units. So the BVAS is supposed to be very accurate, as long as it doesn't be tampered with. Anyway, if it has been tampered with, there is nothing. I think, for example, that's why I fought the electoral process that INEC conducts. INEC is no longer trustworthy. I can't even sit here now and say it has not been tampered with. What happened in the last presidential election? Oh, we began to hear that they were formatting for another election. They were saying, okay, not all of them, they are formatting. They have studied here. In 2019, they said they had a server. After elections during the tribunal, they said there was no server. Later, they said the server was hacked. So a lot of the times, we have a messed electoral system. And our justice system that is supposed to help create that level of trust is not even worse of hand. You can't even deny that. So it is just to check for overvoting records. So we hear that there are several. We saw reports of several. For example, in Isako, some part of Oredo, overvoting reports came. I saw a polling unit in Isako with 1,005 accredited voters, and on the voters register on the day of election. It is not possible on planet Earth that everybody that we accredited, no, everybody that were on the voters registered would have turned up to vote on the day. But Isako produced that magic thanks to Adanso Shomole and his friends who are professional riggers, and then all of that happened. So we are putting our eyes into this. We are considering this, whether or not that the process is trustworthy enough. We are comfortable. We ensure that, like I said, it is something we cannot take our eyes away, because we cannot allow this loads of this. They're very few. They are not. I'm not sure. Like I said before, I'm not sure the gang of people terrorizing our territorial integrity, giving us sleepless nights, troubling our spirits, caging, gagging, mesmerizing our whole system, messing up our systems and institutions. I'm not sure they're even up to 1 million persons. And for a country that is believed to be more than 250 million, so we have a very minute minority terrorizing us. So we must be able to tame them. So we are putting our eyes on ground for this to ensure that we check all the process again. We see that this is well followed, and then whatever judgment the court gives, if it's in line with, we have our own independent understanding of what happened in 2024 general elections. However, we are a country that is bounded by some laws, unfortunately, and then, like I said, I've told a few friends, at the end of this, we'll decide whether or not we are going to campaign anymore in this election. I think, as a matter of fact, right now, that the 2027 election should be cancelled and let Bola Tinubu continue, not because he's qualified, not because he's doing well, but because it's waste of state resources, having to spend billions of naira. We hear INEC is requesting for over 100 billion already in preparation for a 2027 election in 2025. There's 2026 and there'll be 2027. So we are likely going to spend over 500 billion naira for an election to return a sitting president to power in an election that nobody can trust, nobody can contest. So what's the process? I know that this money, like I used to say to my friends, they say, don't buy the player is too expensive. If the club do not buy that player, and with the money come to you, allow them waste it if they have to. My thought exactly, right? Again, another worry for me is that machines, technology everywhere in the world helps to enhance processes, make it credible, make it fairer, make it freer, make it faster, make it more accurate if there's anything like that. But of course, the human factor in Nigeria and the enemies that are bound that this country will never go will continue to use technology to manipulate process and makes it even worse off than it were. Because I never thought that we are going to get it. When the news of BVAs and IRF coming into effect in the elections were coming, some of us felt it was a game changer. Yes, it was a game changer, but that game can be changed even in the middle of the game. Oh Lord. Abi, we've seen it happen and it continue to happen. And painful that we have a justice system that is not pocketed by a few persons. Hunger. Nigeria is a country where everybody has got prizes. Nobody is passionate. Those days, say you want to be a doctor because you are passionate about seeing people get well, passionate about seeing healthy people live. You want to be a lawyer because you are passionate about justice system, passionate about how people should be treated fairly, how we should all be equal before the law. But all that is a mirage at the moment, and nobody is passionate about anything. Everybody is just passionate about money because all of us are fighting for security. In where I live, after my company pays, the government takes off taxes, takes off national insurance, and put in money for me for pension, so to speak. It creates the level of balance. So I'm not fighting tooth and nail to to rob just so I can survive. Yes, I've got some benefit to come in future, personal benefit from pension, national insurance. That is also used to also invest in critical infrastructure so as to enhance my living. So I'm not under so much pressure. And there are loans and grants that are talking about, like say, so that's the problem. But here in this country, everybody is fighting to survive. Everybody will rob, everybody will kill. Ritual is on the high side because people just want to survive. Nobody trusts anything anymore. So when a president comes to power, he's thinking of his fifth and sixth generation. He saves what Abacha has stolen from this country, what designing. But guess what? These are the names that are in public. The ones the people are stealing are the ones that have happened in Buhari government, happened in Tinubu government. What this APC have learned to do better is they have learned to hide their shit and hide their men, so you don't hear it. It's not because they are not doing worse of war. Because I'm going to do a report of aids that the US the United States of America has shared with Nigeria, particularly in the last 3 years. You'll be shocked and surprised how much millions of dollars that have entered this country that are uncounted for by way of being fair, lack of better words. Right? You can't have all of these millions coming and then it's not showing the light. What do we use all these monies for? I'll catch you a bit another time, right? Let me go rest up. Bye.